Now this is an old paper shredder. When I bought this farm, it was here, and they used it to shred paper for the horses' beds. The horse beds, you know, instead of sawdust, they use this. I am thinking about converting this into a forge. I have a temporary now one built of bricks, and but it's outside, so winter is coming on. And where I live, there's about well, it becomes, you know, up to 30 degrees below Celsius, down to 30 degrees Celsius at winter time. So I don't fancy standing outside in the winter time. And this here's my stables. I have a little workshop over there by the four-wheeler to the right. So in there, I'm going to put this. And what it has a big engine underneath, and it weighed a ton. Getting it in here was about 50 meters. I was drenched in sweat because it's heavy as a, I don't know what. So I got the hood off, and this hood I'm thinking about reusing. I'm going to put some long bars on there and using it as a fire hood. And just, you know, putting it against the wall. But here is my thoughts. In here is a wheel. It's a shredding wheel. And as you can see, it's cut quite evenly in diameter. And because you see here, it goes past this edge. So I'm thinking, if I take this out, put it on top of here, it should be about the right size. So I could weld this shut on top instead. Cut out like here or here to the side if I want to have more pieces. And put in a forge bottom. So usually, well, I was thinking about making my own, but I actually went ahead and ordered one today. Cost me 1,400 kroners, 1,490 kroners. That's about $150, or I think it's about 130 pounds or something like that. Because I felt, you know, the heat is going to be so massive, and I want the air to come in from underneath and not the side, because you see this material I want to keep intact. So, and that's why I need a proper grill. You can just, you know, use any old container. You could use, you could probably use a rim for a tire or something like that. So this is my idea, and what I'm thinking, because I've never done anything like this before, I'm just going to see how it goes. The welding part has me a bit stymied because I'm not really good at welding. I bought a welder the other day. I've tried a little bit. I must say the results were not that impressive. but we have to try, right? That's the most important thing. But first, what I'm going to do is take the old engine off. All right? So, that wasn't as easy as you would think. You had this, remember the yellow thing, sitting in here. Had to get that up first, then take out the wheel. Now there's these cutters in here, need to get them loose as well. I guess they sit on a wheel. I could use a crowbar or something like that to get them out. But otherwise, it's a nice base, I must say. And I can see that the engine is, I think the plate that it's sitting on is welded shut. So I need a blowtorch or something like that to get that up. But we got to get the wheel first off, and let's see what's going on there. Now this is my old forge. Well, the first forge, I built this temporary from bricks and an old water tank. I had in my house. But you can see it gets very hot here, so it's sort of melted right through. And the setup was alright with the air, you know, until slag products and stuff started coming around. So as I didn't have anywhere for the slag to go, it just piled up there instead. It's a good setup though. I liked it. You know, it's really nice. But as I said, when it gets 30 below, it's not really the coziest place to be. And I had more of this structure, but it tore down this winter there was, because there was so much snow. So it was almost to the top there, where you can see where the grass starts. Now it's just not there anymore. So we're going to convert, well, I'm not going to use any of this. I had no fan for that. Worked really well actually, this old hairdryer, because you know you can turn up the speeds and all that. But I'm not going to use this anymore, so that's why I'm building the other one. All right. Now this has been a lot harder than I would think, than I could think from the start, because I messed up in here. You can see in here that I suppose there was a sprint or something that I sort of missed that, so I started cutting right away. So I cut that off, or you know, it's not there anymore. And getting this wheel off was really tough. So I've had to resort to start trying to cut it away, and use a tiger saw and a handheld cutter, wheel cutter. So it's slowly getting there, but it's heavy. I mean, this engine is really dense, and you know, it weighs a freaking ton. I think this frame doesn't weigh that much, but you can see it has, you know, supports on there just to support this engine. So in cutting through those supports, it's not easy. So my goal now is to just do that and get that finished. I'm going to show you, I've also started to closing this section up so I can have a proper workshop in the stables. And my old workshop is in there, behind that door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that wall up as well, just open up everything. And I'm planning on having the smithy in that corner. That means I have to fireproof this wall up until like a half a meter, 30 centimeters up over the forge. As I've never done any of this before, either never built a wall before, it's interesting. So let's get cracking. What I've noticed with this tank is quite, you know, it's different types of materials. On one end you got pretty soft, sort of like sheet metal-ish material, and otherwise you've got these balks that run right right across to support the engine, and they're quite tough. So I noticed that the tiger saw has trouble coping when it goes from the light material to the harder material, and the saw blade just jumps off. So I had to use the angle grinder more than the tiger saw. But that's all right, you know, I'm going to use the tiger saw for more cutting down a wall. But this is coming along. I'll be done soon, I think. Well, we just need to change that. Perfect. So, finally, there we are. Big round hole, no engine. I mean, yeah, this is much lighter now. It was so heavy. I don't know what this weighs, but it's a beast. So, that hole underneath could work pretty well, because I need to put in a fan that goes from underneath, and we need to put in also a drain, you know, where all the slag and stuff falls down. So they'll work pretty well. So I'm gonna take this and muscle it up to the other side of my workshop. So this is how many discs it took me to get this cut, and one machine, because one machine blew out on me. So one machine and 3, 6, 7, 8.5 discs. So I guess I had, you know, not a big enough machine, but also there's so little room in there. If I had a bigger one, it wouldn't have fit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean it up, because it's been used as a paper shredder. So I want to clean away all the old paper bits and ends that's in there, so it doesn't catch fire when I'm using it. And this whole hole is where the paper used to come out. I'm thinking maybe using this as my air supply hole, or what's it called. So now for taking the old blower and cleaning it out. Right, fairly clean. Maybe you're wondering why I didn't do this before, and to be honest, I didn't think of it. You know, when I started cutting here, I noticed it started some small fires, a little bit then and there. But I'm learning as I'm coming along. I actually had a talk and invited a chimney sweep to come here and help me how to fireproof and make everything safe. So that's you know, we have to start one bit of an end. And I guess I'm not like most people. Fire hazard security is not what you think of right away when you're thinking you want to tinker around in your workshop on a hobby basis. Oh well, we'll learn as we'll get there. So I got the wheel back, and you can see it's not as snug as we want it. So I'm going to create some brackets that I can weld onto there. Now, I'm not really good at welding, so we'll see how this goes. But first, I think I'm going to measure out the form. The form is this. It's cast, so I'm going to use that right in there. So what I'm going to do is cut a hole, see if it fits, and then sink it down. You can see there's little holes there, just making it firm. I need some kind of bar here later. There's a piece of sheet that went with this. Don't really know what it's for. So, interesting. Well, we're getting there. Feel like I'm learning a lot with this project. You know, just how the metal feels as well, and how I should cut it. This is quite thick, and I like that because that means it's not going to be as susceptible to fire as, you know, you saw the old forge has quite thin sheet metal. So I like this. Almost. You see it? It's on the fence, as we say in Sweden. That's it for today. Hope to see you soon, and if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe, and I'll try to put out some more videos of how the progress in the workshop is going later on, and obviously with the new forge. Have a good one.